The quality of your questions that you ask yourself determines the quality of your life. Our brain is conditioned to look for answers to the questions that you ask yourself. Today, in this video, I just want to share with you the top 5 questions that I can kind of say has changed my life, and I find myself repeatedly going back to if I'm feeling a negative emotion or frustration or sadness or feeling aimless about a certain thing in my life. So let's get started. How can I make today better? If I'm having a bad day and I ask myself, why do I have such bad luck? Then my brain is going to work really hard to look at what is on my mind. If you were to flip that question into how can I make my day better, then you're going to be focused on not trying to find the source of why I have such bad luck, but to shifting perspective into finding a solution for how you can have a better day. And that can bring you back to a more centered and focused mindset of what needs to happen next in order to flip that situation around. I'm the type of person that really likes to analyze and think back of what I did wrong, how I can be better. And this self-improvement mentality, although I feel like is good to further my reflection, most oftentimes it's not what it's needed in order to make my mood better. And I realize I'm not fully in the mood for that reflection yet to see a positive light or solution to it. So by turning why was that situation bad, I look for and ask myself, how can I make today better? And it's these simple little things such as taking a bath instead of a shower, or ordering takeout instead of your stale salad for the day, or even calling your best friend, or it might even be shedding a tear for 5 minutes and letting go of that emotion so that it can be a better day. The second question, how can I make this experience the best thing that has happened to me? Even if you feel like the experience or the outcome of the experience was bad, there's often something that you can learn. This shifts my perspective from feeling sorry for myself and then turning that lens into how can I use this experience to empower me for the future? When I was going through some trauma and I was seeing my therapist, I remember in this one session where I expressed how out of control I felt in a partnership and the way that it just ended. She really turned that question and made me not dwell on that situation. And how I turned that into the best thing that happened to me is really have compassion and perspective of learning what I can control and what I can't control. Often when I'm faced with indecision, I look at my options and I ask myself, is this the person that I want to become? Whether it's a career choice or choosing to eat instead of hit the gym, I am making small bids to who I want to become in the future. Whenever I feel unmotivated to do something that I had planned out in my day to do, I really use this question to ask myself and create a sense of urgency that if I do this, then I've lost one bid to becoming that person I want to be. More often than not, we are just comfortable in where we are right now in our current state. But in order to really grow out of that state and into your next future self that you want to become, every little compound effect makes a difference. And it's when those moments of indecision or those moments where you feel discouraged to move on, those are the ones that we need to pay attention to. Whenever I find myself in a place of feeling stuck and challenged and not really knowing how to resolve that problem, I like to ask the question, what would it look like if it were easy? When an experience or skill is new to me, I often find myself overcomplicating situations. And By asking that question, it frees up your mind and being like, hey, is this really something that's that hard to do? By focusing on what would it look like if it were easy, that itself is so powerful in trying to find solutions rather than overcomplicating the situation. And this last one is actually something that came out of my coaching session today. That is, how can I incorporate more play into what I'm about to do? As somebody that really looks to challenge myself to achieving greater things or the next milestone, I often find myself in this very serious mode of, okay, this is really, really big on my future. And sometimes where seriousness is good, I also find myself lacking in the ability to think creatively, especially going into a meeting or a brainstorming session with a certain expectation that I should be performing and providing value. So by asking, how can I incorporate more play into what I'm about to do? It gives me a sense of relief that I don't have to have all the answers, but I can try. And by knowing that and giving yourself the space to have quality fails, that really helps in finding a balance between being serious but also having a light side in seeing creative solutions. That's it. I hope this was useful. Thank you so much for watching. If there's other questions that have helped you change the way that you think or act, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Have a great day.